Hello, everyone. So you just heard on that last panel about services and products being the kind of engine room of innovation. So we're going to share with you some of the products and innovations and services that we've got from the UK. Hopefully you will find that our innovation is better than our cricket, which has been frankly awful in the last couple of days. But there you go. Hope you guys go and win it, by the way. So hopefully, with a bit of luck, a presentation will pop up. Oh, I need to go back. Okay, so here we go. So my name's Andy Taylor. I'm CEO of Accordion Innovation Limited. And we're a company that invents new tech. That's what we do. And the two products I'm going to tell you about today are Accordion and Flip Format. And Accordion is for audiences mainly, and Flip Format is for creators. And I know there's a lot of students here. You are going to be making your stuff and putting it in front of lots of huge audiences in the future. And I'm sure a lot of you are creators already. So hopefully this is of interest to you and things that can help you. And I think there are some parallels between where these products can be useful and two things that India is fantastic at. Cricket, as I've already mentioned, but specifically marketing cricket, and also going to space, which you're also very good at. So let's talk about Accordion. What Accordion does is it lets the users, the audience, choose the duration of content. It can be audio, it can be video, and what you end up with, and that's not a mock-up, that is a genuine screenshot from a phone. You see that slider bar under the video, and this is the video of a maths lecture from Goldsmiths University. The original length of that lecture was 42 minutes. Using that slider bar, you can take it down as low as 16 minutes, but you still get the key learning points from that lecture. It's still got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it flows. What's come out is some of the detail. Now, hopefully that fires up in your imagination. How could I tell stories? How could I deliver content in a way where the audience is choosing the duration? Because, this is the future. If we make stuff easier for audiences, and if we make stuff shorter, just like, the IPL is worth double what Test cricket is, because it's shorter and it's easier for the audiences. We applied Accordion to a podcast in the UK called Planet Possible, and it raised audience numbers by 27%. By giving the audiences the chance to choose the length of content. Flip Format we are developing at the moment, and this is based on that insight that if you want your video to appear on all the different social media platforms, then you need to provide it in different lengths and in different formats. Might be vertical, might be square. And it's hard to do that. That takes time. You've got to reshoot or you've got to reformat manually. Often you haven't got time in your workflow. And it's a good example of if you can find exactly the right area to take a really good, precise action, then you can achieve huge growth. So, India went to the moon, spent about 190 million doing it, and that is going to deliver 13 billion of growth to the economy. Well, if you want to grow on social media, then you have to be using video. The algorithms are prioritizing it. So Flip Format will give you an easy, quick, and good value way to get your video on all those social media platforms without it taking you a long time. So why are we all here from the UK coming to India to tell you about our products? It's because your country is on the up. I don't need to tell you that. Mobile use, going up. Short video, short content consumption, on the up. Video creation and video creators growing all the time. So if you're a company like mine that makes new products for audiences and creators, this is the perfect place to be. So what I want from you today is first for you to have a think about how these products that my company has invented might be useful to you. And it might be in the future when your careers are growing, or it might be now because you're a creator right now. So think about your content. Do you think you could stand out? Could you have a competitive advantage by giving the audience the chance to choose how long your content is? And then in terms of your social media content, in terms of the video that you put on those social media platforms, would it be useful to you to be able to automatically and quickly make really good, decent promo videos for all those platforms automatically? Because that's what Flip Format is going to enable. So I'm over here, like the rest of the delegation. We're looking for customers, we're looking for partnerships, we're looking for collaborations, and we're looking for insights and feedback. So if any of this is interesting to you, you come and talk to me afterwards. I can show you some demos. I can give you my business card, or we can just have a chat. But thank you for inviting us here. It's been a great honor to be here. And I will now hand over to Mike, who is next on the list to tell you about his amazing products. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Andy. So I am Mike, and I'm here from Clever GIFs. Some of you may be would read it as Clever GIFs. The pronunciation is up to you, to be honest. So by a show of hands, let's have a little show of hands. Who here is still using email in their marketing? Okay? If I ask that anywhere else in the world, every single person would put their hand up. Who's using WhatsApp in their marketing here as well? In the rest of the world, nobody would put their hand up. Okay, you guys are ahead on that one. We're still using technology from 40 years ago. So what are Clever GIFs? Clever GIFs are not boring emails, right? Not boring emails, not 40-year-old, static, uninteresting emails. We have a mission that all email communication will be more exciting, okay? So Clever GIFs are personalized animations that speak individually to every recipient of an email. Whether you've got 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 people on your mailing list, every one of them will receive a message directed directly at them with personalized information in there. This increases click-through rates and return on investment by up to 80%. We've seen that time after time over the last year that we've been running. So, why is it clever? These are animated creatives, right? Everywhere else we look, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, the feeds are moving. But in email, so often, we find that actually they're very static, and people click out almost immediately. So these are animated creatives, but we take that direct-to-consumer approach of personalizing the message directly to that individual. And that's what engages them. There's something actually there's a strange psychological effect that when you see your name animated, it's like somebody's almost spoken it to you, and you feel that engagement with the brand. We have a scalable and automated platform. You can speak to me afterwards, and I'd absolutely love to. Or you can just go to clevergifts.com and sign up by yourself. You can do all this. This is a SaaS product, so you are able to just get on with it. And this is dynamic content. This is content that can be generated as you're sending the email. Okay, so this fits into automations as well as into campaigns. Here's a few examples of the kind of thing that we create using our platform. It's really great being here at a VFX conference because although these animations are relatively simple, we have a full VFX pipeline in the back end. So whether you want to create animations that actually fit with television-style TV adverts and fit into those campaigns, we can actually do that. So working with us, as I've alluded to, we've got two options. We've got a self-service SaaS product that allows you to go in, your marketing team that can fit straight into your design workflows. Or we have an bespoke enterprise solution with a full visual effects pipeline in the back end. That allows us to make really brand-relevant content for the major brands. I would love to talk to anybody. To be honest, I love talking. So I'd love to talk to any of you in the room here. But I'd particularly love to speak to anybody who's using direct-to-consumer communications as a key strategy for engaging their users. But I'd also love to speak to anybody. I've been ray tracing since I was 9 years old. So I would love to speak to anybody about the visual effects work that you guys are doing. Thank you ever so much for your time, and I'm going to hand you on to Rachel, who is quite wonderful. You must listen to this.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon. I am Rachel. I am the CEO of a company called Darcy. But primarily, before that, if I can make this work, do we have a slide? Maybe not. What have we got going on here? Ah, here we go. We've got to go back. Before that, before I introduce what Darcy is, I'm going to say I'm a musician. Is anybody in here a musician? Show of hands. Oh, brilliant. We're going to get along like a house on fire. How many of you use music when you're working out? How many of you listen to music to enhance a workout experience? A lot more hands. Very, very good. How many of you use music when you're gaming to enhance your experience? Loads more hands. Fantastic. And how many of you have companies that rely on music to enhance your user experience? All right, one way or another, I think I've got every single one of you to put up your hands in the past couple of seconds. And we're here at Darcy to make your life easier, in whatever way that is. We are an ecosystem of assistive music AI tools. So let's explore that together and see how it might fit in with you. So when you're doing your workout or when you've designed your game or whatever that might be, you need to be able to recommend the best music for the experience. If you're a rights holder, you need to be able to track where that music's been used. Am I going to be paid for it? Who's using it? How much of it is being used? What are the relevant parts of that? We can also then think about how, when we have existing music, how we can edit it to make it relevant for the experience that we're having. Is it being edited to go in a social media video? Is it being edited for a YouTube channel? We can then think about how we can tell quite a complex story with this music by briefing it. Is it being called from a gaming SDK? All of that is adding value to existing music and existing rights holders. But what if actually the music that you have there isn't relevant for what you need? You might need to compose some more music. You might be a composer who wants to enhance their output, and you might use these tools to make music easier for you make music easier for you, actually the music itself. All of this, as we know, there's music everywhere. You all held up your hands for a reason, because it really enhances experiences. Whether that's digital world, whether it's VR, XR, whatever that might be, music is a pivotal part to all of it. I'm going to play a video now that explains a bit about the generative system that we have, but I'll speak over the top of it on the recording, but more importantly, pay attention to the music in the background, because that's music that's been created by the Darcy system. Let's go back, shall we? Let's try that again. And let's try that again. It's time to break the sound barrier. Darcy is a system built by composers for composers based on compositional intent. Put simply, we understand that composers understand what is needed. Darcy's meta-composition interface provides an accessible way for any composer to express their musical choices so that musical elements and textures may be dynamically composed in real time. Darcy's generative engine uses patented formatting technology to pull these textures together in response to a brief as a composer does. And Darcy's audio rendering combines bespoke cloud-based production environments so that every note sounds stunning. All of this culminates in the magic of Darcy, a single point of input that expresses the principles of composition for anything, anywhere, at any time, allowing composers to respond instantaneously to the growing demands of content creation, personalization, media, business, and entertainment across the globe. Darcy, empowering today's composers for the content of tomorrow. There we go. It's time to break. Oh, we have it again. It's time to break. Oh, my word. I'm not good with the clicker, apparently. I'm pretty good at music, but terrible with the clicker. Okay, so as you can hear there, that is not just any old music. That's incredible music, if I don't say so myself. We are a company of composers, and we are building this for musicians and composers, and we know what's needed. We have over 60 patents. Well, we've got 60 patents granted and 80 patents in the space, and this is built on over 30 years of research from actually my big brother, Dr. Joe Lisk, so we have an incredible team. Why we're here is because we've already heard that India is on the up. And we can do things for everyone's experiences now in a Web 2 basis. Is that in a social media video? Is that in a gaming experience where you want to create a bespoke gaming skin, for instance? But where we are really interested in talking to people about is the innovation. What can we do with this technology together? Let's create bespoke, personalized experiences for our users, for our own experiences. So, let's break the sound barrier. Get in touch with me. I'm here to talk to all of you and every single one of you. And thank you very much. And I will hand over to the wonderful, wonderful Liam.
Namaste and hello. Can we have my first slide, please? My name is Liam Stout. I'm head of business development at Envision Entertainment. We are a global media specialist based in London. But today I want to tell you about our new digital offering, Fable. Fable is a mobile platform that grants easy access to the best original and fresh stories on the planet in the form of vertical scroll comics for smartphones. Fable will have a suite of tools for creators to create their own visual IP and a verified user base of readers who can discuss, feedback on, and share stories that stand a good chance of becoming the next big film or TV franchise. Our team is definitely our strong suit. We were co-founded by Harry Potter producer David Barron, as well as Michael Nakan, a former senior development executive at HBO and NBC Universal. And so we have experience creating and producing some of the world's biggest blockbusters from some of the highest end IP. Films worked on by the team have grossed over $10 billion at the global box office. So with Fable, we have a phased approach. Right now, in phase one, we are licensing and converting a huge volume of back catalog from some of the major publishers into this format. We will then move into commissioning premium originals and adapting existing well-known story worlds. Thereafter, we want to build a creator economy on the platform, enabling, with a suite of generative AI tools, enabling anyone to create and publish. And then, where we hope to get to in phase 4 is creating this Fable to film flywheel effect. So from the Fables, we'll adapt them into films and TV shows which further market the platform and further drive IP generation. So we're very global in our outlook. Our strategy is to launch first in English-speaking markets, for which we will need technical expertise to help us build the platform and the content. We then want to expand to markets around the world, markets in Asia, and to India, markets that are already familiar with the format or increasingly familiar with the format, such as India. We then want to roll out into developing nations where people are well placed to consume and create fables due to the high rate of smartphone penetration and the low levels of data required to actually consume the medium. And why we'll be successful, why we think we'll be successful. Of course, global audiences and IP are of the utmost value to global media companies in the internet age. We'll use new technology and global distribution to create a community of fans and IP creators. And Envision has a proven entrepreneurial record. We have deep experience in the business and mechanics of global media. Our Webtoon platform helps storytellers who want to find and monetize new audiences by reducing barriers to entry and facilitating creation, distribution, and adaptation to film, TV, or games. So thank you very much. Those are my contact details up on the screen. I'd love to have a conversation with anyone. We're looking for content creators, publishers, and technical expertise to help us further build out the platform and scale it as we go forward. Thank you very much. And on to our next delegate, the wonderful John.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Well, I've got my first slide there, but there's a bit of it missing. Oh, there it is. It's finally rendered. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is John O'Lone from the IO Media Group's company, which is based in London, but it's pretty international. We do a lot of development work, pardon me, here in India. A lot of the background of our company began in India, more particularly Mumbai and Delhi. But we operate in London, in Australia, in the United States and around the world. We actually helped to launch Star TV and NDTV in the early days, National Geographic channels and Sky TV, Fox in New York, 10 in Australia, and so on. So what we have to do with visual reality, of course, is factual. What I will give you and get to in a minute is a bit of a challenge as we go through this, is to how do you apply LLM and virtual reality and AI to factual reporting without becoming involved in fake reporting. That's largely what we're working with now as we move through newsroom computer systems to ensure that the AI that is used in journalism is available through the newsroom computer system. But as we heard earlier in the last session, we're all a product of AI. I mean, our LLM is what is our background. We've all been through the same process that we are building into the newsroom computer systems. So we have 30 years of global experience, which is what we're also building into our LLM for our AI, as well as new ideas of how to do things, because we have, through those 30 years, been trailblazers. We have been disruptive in everything we've done. As you'll remember, Star TV originally, and for many years was pretty disruptive. So has NDTV. NDTV is so disruptive they had to change it. What we've developed, however, is a unique system of live news systems, which we've now moved to the cloud. It's available here in India, both as its cloud version, but because, strangely enough, cloud is one issue in India that for the spread across the country is continuing to be a problem. So whereas India is terribly advanced in most technologies, cloud is still a bit of an issue for media operators, which we're working on fixing. So we have, for the time being, 3 products. That's 3. One is the cloud, one is a premises-based system, and the third one is a hybrid. So that's basically, I'm not going to go in now into detail now on how LNS works, but that is a picture of it. It's pretty simple, really, if you were to take the time to read all the words. Basically, it is a system that becomes intuitive once we build. That's the 3 systems that we have available for throughout the world. But the hybrid SaaS and LNS on premises are the ones that are of more particular interest to the circumstances of the technology in India and Southeast Asia and parts of Latin America. Which brings us on to the AI. The challenge I want to give you is, how do you use fables? How do you use storytelling? How do you use background that is made up of other things that is supposed to enhance and produce and make bigger facts to produce factual reporting for the audience? For the people of the world, actually. So that's what we're working on. That's why we're here, to be able to develop AI in factual reporting without going into the area of non-factual reporting. You'll see in the top left-hand corner there, livesystems.io /products will take you into how the systems work, if you want to go that far into it, or if you just want to go into what is LNS, there it is, livesystems.io, and that'll take you straight to it, or I'll be sitting over here and around the place later on. So that's my story, and now to tell you his story is Adam.
All right, could I have my first slide, please? So my name is Adam Mendrasic, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Provenir. So Provenir is a platform for the creative industry to save, store, share, and protect intellectual property from the moment it's created. But why do we need this? So in India, intellectual property creation is exploding. There were over 73 million hours of viewership raked in by the Tollywood action epic RRR, and those numbers keep climbing. 82% increase year on year of intellectual property applications to the Indian Patent and Trademark Office. But for something less positive, globally in the last year, there were over 20,000 recorded cases of intellectual property theft or attempts. So this is why we built Provenir. It's a platform that is for creatives to save, to store, to share, and protect that intellectual property. Like I said, the minute it's made up to the moment you're ready to register it or publish it. And it works in a three-step process. So you upload your intellectual property, and then you upload your proof. Now, depending on what sort of sector you work in, if you're in VFX, maybe this is a Rhino file, or it is a Blender file, or it's textures that you've used to make a final design piece. You upload that as proof here. It might actually even be initial ideas on what you're going to create for an animation or a character. Maybe it's a storyboard. And finally, you verify yourself via e-signature. So this is a quick demo of how this works. So you can do this on your desktop or mobile. You drag and drop your intellectual property. You add any information that you need to describe it. So you can add a name. You can tell us what version it is. You can add a category so you can easily find it later for organization. And then you can add descriptions. Here you add your proof, so your work in progress files. And then you verify it via e-signature. All of this is then stored using encrypted and SOC 2 compliant decentralized storage. It is all immutable and verifiable on-chain and in your dashboard. It creates a unique e-certificate with all of that information so that you can publicly prove ownership over this work or this idea. And it's all user managed and secure shared directly from the dashboard. So you can access manage who sees it, who has download privileges, and if you decide to revoke that access, you can do it instantaneously. You can do this from desktop or mobile. So we're in India because we want to connect with creatives. Maybe you're a creative student, maybe you're a freelancer, maybe you're running a startup, or maybe you're a massive national, multinational corporate company. Well, we want to speak to you about how we can start pilot programs, collaborations, or partnerships to secure your intellectual property before you send it out or start to publish or what is the word? Record it. Record it with a government agency, always at the end. And so our beta list creatives that we have for the platform at the moment are creatives from the New York Times, from Epic Games, Condé Nast, creatives from Burberry, as well as creatives from universities like the University of the Arts London, Rhode Island School of Design, and Ravensbourne University. We've also spoke to a number of India-based design universities, and we're putting together pilot programs for them as well. So if you're an institution or a creative university and you want to talk about how we can give your students and the faculty the ability to save, store, share, and protect their intellectual property the minute it's created, come and find me. Website you can find here. That's provenir.com. Thank you.
Hello. Could I have my first slide, please? Great. So my name's Andrew Campbell. I'm the founder of a new kind of video game development company. It's a little unusual. I'm going to talk about something we don't often talk about in this community. It's the negative effects of video gaming. The great escape into the digital realm to escape the pressures of reality is one of the defining factors of our age. More and more, people who are suffering from psychological challenges receive a period of relief when they escape into digital media. This is a great thing. We need to have temporary relief from our problems. But business models that drive engagement above all other factors can cause overstimulation and stress to the player, can disrupt sleep cycles, and can actually leave the player less well off for the challenges of reality the next day. And if we're honest with ourselves, we can see this reality happening all around us, especially with the younger generations. Does that mean gaming is a bad thing? Absolutely not. It presents a tremendous opportunity to actually improve things for the player. More and more evidence is coming out that video gaming, in fact, can be massively beneficial for cognitive development. Team-based games can improve social skills dramatically. And whether we like it or not, gaming has become one of the primary ways in which younger people especially are socializing, learning, educating themselves, and with the rise of AI and VR, in fact, interfacing with reality itself. So let's look at what this opportunity could mean for us. Imagine a different form of video game that actually, as the player plays it, they engage in a meditative gameplay, conduct guided meditations delivered via characters in the game that actually, supported by evidence-based therapeutics from disciplines like neuroscience and cognitive psychology, clinical psychology, can actually help the player gain self-mastery. And so the next day, be actually in a better position to deal with reality. This is a principle we call unescapism. It's important for people to be able to escape from reality. But in our game, every single thing that happens should also in some way help inform the player back to reality and help them be equipped with those challenges. And we know there's a gigantic market for wellness apps. Calm in particular is valued at $2 billion. But these apps, these meditation-based apps, in fact have surprisingly low engagement. While people subscribe to them because they know it's good for them, and there are huge amounts of people on the free versions of these apps, the actual amount of meditations engaged with is surprisingly low. On the gaming front, we can see games that incorporate spiritual, psychological, or deeply emotional factors in them massively outperform games, comparable games in the industry, which don't incorporate these kind of factors. Some of you will recognize these standout games here. So we're going to try and take this a step further. We want to combine the calming interactivity, engagement of a narrative adventure game. We all know Zelda Breath of the Wild is a great example of this, with the incredible paradigm that Sesame Street put out. Really fun and engaging characters who can actually make difficult to grasp concepts to young people like the alphabet, in fact, really fun and engaging. And television, which was considered to be a medium that just rotted young people's minds and was bad for them, was actually alchemized into a really powerful and productive means for children to educate themselves. And it was also a social experience. And finally, we're piggybacking on the psychological benefits of therapeutic meditation-based apps. And we've reached out to the spiritual traditions from across the world to inform this. We're trying to take the great lessons of these incredible traditions and remix them into a form that's appealing and easily graspable for a modern audience. We've created a new universe that incorporates elements of all of these, but without any direct references, so people of any faith, of any persuasion can play this game and feel it stands completely independently from any other religious or other affiliations they may have. So here's a little bit of gameplay from our first demo. This is a very early stage alpha, but you'll be able to see that this is a VR version of the game. The player is actually moving their arms in this yoga-like breathing pattern. And then the character on the side can actually be spoken to verbally in an AI-powered two-way interactive conversation. And the character is effectively helping guide you through a meditation. You can say anything you like to, and it will answer. And as you perform these breathing exercises, you move.
Human spirit.
You move in time. So here's a little bit of concept art. We would like to enrich some of these further worlds. And we're here because we'd like to reach out to Indian institutions, cultural institutions that can help make this a global experience, not such an Anglo-centric narrative. We're also really interested in working with developers who share our mission. And finally, we would really like to figure out how can this be something that would really appeal to the Indian market as well, which of course is crucially important. So thank you so much for taking the time for listening to me today. And my name is Andrew Campbell. You can email me, andrew@quietforces.com, and I'd be really delighted to speak to any of you about this rather unusual and weird project. Thank you.
Well done, mate. Very good. My first slide's up already. Fantastic. Hello. And then you need to go back. Hang on, excuse me 1 minute. Oh, it won't go back. Could you restart my presentation again? There we go. Is it still not? Still going? What do you Press it. Press it. I am the red one back. The green button. Yeah, I want to go back though. It didn't start. Here we go. Right, hopefully the first slide's going to come up. I'm Professor Brendan Walker. I'm the founder director of Studio GoGo. At Studio GoGo, we turn mechanical rides into amazing experiences. If only that were true. If only that were true. Here we go. Well, there should be a video there, but that doesn't matter. Let's go with this one. Anyway. Right, so we turn mechanical rides into amazing experiences. What you would see here is one of our fairground rides at Brighton Palace Pier in England. We use the physical forces of rides to throw people up into the space and to make them feel like they're flying across the sky. Now, we've been operating our own rides in 4 continents across the world. We've engaged audiences from attendees at the Winter Olympics, and also we've been at the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations at the High Commission in Australia. Now, I was originally trained as an aeronautical engineer before I retrained in industrial design. I became known as the world's only thrill engineer. In 2003, I wrote a small book on how to design a thrilling experience. Since then, I've been working with brands like Merlin Entertainment, who own Madame Tussauds, Legoland, working as a design consultant, and also designing real roller coasters like Wicker Man at Alton Towers. I also get involved in brand activation, working with clients like Disneyland and also a whole host of other blue chip clients, as you can see here. But it wasn't until I worked on a brand activation for Planet Coaster with Frontier Developments that I met the guy who's to become our Chief Technology Officer, Thomas Morley, who was then the lead designer of their Cobra games engine. We designed and created GoGo XR, our own games engine. Let me tell you how it works, using the simple example of a playground swing. As you're swinging backwards and forwards, we use the simple 3 degrees of freedom sensors on the headset to work out where you are on the swing, the velocity you're going on the swing, and also the forces you're feeling on that swing. We then imagine different movements that might make sense of those forces. Suddenly, the sense of swinging backwards and forwards on a swing can become undulating like a jellyfish through the deep abyss. You're actually making movement through the virtual world. And we've been developing a whole library of different experiences that you can bolt together. We can create a track in the virtual world, which we can export to you as a camera track. Now, this is the bit for you. You can then ingest that into whatever pipeline you're using. You can do what you do really well, which is to build content, and then you render it out at the highest resolution you like, give it back to us, and we put it into the GoGo player, and that player plays it out in complete synchronization with the beating metronome of the ride. We've already made 11 pieces of our own content. We've been working with Fmod to ensure that we've got the highest fidelity of audio playback. We've developed our own tiled media player. But it doesn't just stop with the experiences we've published for these rides. It's not just all swings and roundabouts. We're working on so many other ride types. Now comes on to the point why I'm speaking to you today. There are over 1 billion rider interactions to be had locally in cities around the world every year. 1 billion rides. Studio GoGo is going to be scaling up the licensing of our VR swing business to operators in Southeast Asia and the Middle East. We're going to need content, and we are going to need investment, but I'm not after your money today. Many of you in this room are going to be fantastic creators working with some fantastic IP for some fantastic clients. That content is going to get released at some point at a premiere. My proposition is that together we approach and excite your clients with the prospect of a VR thrill ride to activate that launch. And I think together we can go and activate their marketing budget. So if you want to come and talk to me, got my details on the screen, love to speak to you. Thank you very much.
Can I get my first slide, please? While that loads, I just want to say I'm absolutely delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you all. It's my first time in India, and I'm having the most wonderful time, so thank you very much. Great. So I'm Tom Windsor. I'm co-founder and CEO of The Round. If you go back to the late 90s into the early 2000s, the introduction of streaming revolutionized the consumption of video and audio content. Prior to the advent of streaming, consumers had to buy a DVD or download a film, or buy a CD or download an MP3. With the introduction of streaming, consumers had access to a near infinite catalog of high-quality visual and audio content at a click of a button, wherever they were in the world. And we all know the impact that's had. Fast forward to 2023, and gaming is the #1 source of entertainment for Gen Z audiences. However, large data files and inefficient protocols are prohibiting the use of high-quality, real-time animations in XR projects and games. To solve that, we've developed The Round, a SaaS tool for real-time spatial streaming that enables developers and immersive studios to deliver high-quality, infinitely scalable, real-time animations on demand across all XR projects and games, freeing them from the limitations of data-heavy animations. At the center of our tools is our proprietary protocol, which captures, compresses, synchronizes, and converts motion capture, facial capture, and audio data into a simple, lightweight format. This format can then be streamed across a one-to-many cloud architecture, delivering high-quality real-time animations at 60 frames per second with a perfect AV sync to an infinitely scalable global audience. Here you can see our product in action. You have my co-founder, Pip, in the motion capture suite in our office in London, streaming via our application to a live augmented reality display. Here we have our world's first live AR concert with One Direction's Liam Payne, which I will speak about more on the next slide. Our solution is avatar agnostic, which means it can work with free Ready Player Me avatars, top-of-the-range metahumans, as you can see in this video of us streaming into a game world, or bespoke avatars created using Maya and Blender. It's also motion capture agnostic, which means we can use inertial suits such as the X-Sense or optical systems such as Optitrax and Vicon. We can even work with markerless systems such as Move AI. Our system streams on a 15 megabit per second internet speed, which means it's compatible with 4G, 5G, and standard home Wi-Fi, which enables us to stream at a city scale. We've achieved a pretty huge amount to date. As I mentioned, we did the world's first live AR concert with One Direction's Liam Payne with BAFTAs and in collaboration with the telco EE. This secured 15 million impressions on social media and 30,000 views. It even hit number 6 on the App Store, beating BBC and ITV. We were named as one of the Creative Industry Council's top 100 companies to watch, and we've delivered pilot projects with the likes of Al Arabiya, Fluff World, and Outlier Ventures. I'm also delighted to say that we've recently been accepted onto NVIDIA's prestigious AI Inception program. We're going to be integrating AI into our streaming pipeline to create an endpoint agnostic, automated, real-time streaming pipeline that will revolutionize how 3D data is consumed in runtime applications. As I've already mentioned, gaming is the #1 source of entertainment for Gen Z audiences. And 85% of Gen Z say they are excited about XR in media and entertainment. When you add to that the recent launch of the Apple Vision Pro and the incredibly exciting Meta Quest 3, the future is looking very bright for spatial computing. However, for spatial computing to deliver on its promise, you need spatial streaming, which is why we say spatial content is in its iPod era. The round is Spotify. I'm here to speak with immersive studios and developers and content creators already using motion capture, as well as IP holders and rights holders, large telcos and government organizations who can help me in delivering a world's first city-scale live augmented reality experience in cities across India. It's been my pleasure to speak with you all, and I would love to chat with you after these presentations. Thank you.
Could I get the first slide, please? Hello there. My name is Alistair Livingstone. I'm the CEO of Tiny Jungle Studios. We are a live streaming production company based in Brighton in the UK. In essence, we shorten brand-sponsored, influencer-led live streams into highlight reels of the best brand, most relevant parts to prove the value the service delivers. The problem that brands were having when engaging with live streaming as an advertising platform were they weren't getting a high-quality record of the activation. And this is where Tiny Jungle Studios came into the picture. We capture the live stream as it happens, engage with interactive elements, and then chop this down into a highlight reel. And this was used to sort of help the streaming platform evaluate what was happening in the live stream. So we've got a team of in-house polyglot editors, and we've delivered 900 projects to 22 countries in 16 languages. And our client is Twitch. Since working with them, we have been very happy with the work that we've been doing. But with the advent of LLMs, we asked ourselves, can we lean into this emerging technology to create efficiencies in our workflow? Can we create an online portal to give access to the many to create snackable content derived from long streams? And can we empower the next generation of live streamers to build mighty audiences? Since we opened a few years ago, we have worked with 243 brands, many globally recognized names. Our AI auto edit creation is in its prototype stage, and we're kind of looking to solve these problems. I mean, imagine emerging streamers looking to sort of garner audiences. Streaming 24 hours a day isn't the golden ticket. Short-form content acts as advertising for streamers. It's content that can be shared across social media platforms to drive traffic to the streamer's page. And this is what we think AI auto edits can do. It can help streamers save time and money and scale their audiences. We're looking for a collaboration partner to take this prototype to the next stage, to turn it into a tangible product. So if you're a web developer, a data scientist, even an investor, or anybody who thinks this has got some legs, then let me know. Currently, there's competition out there, and the technology we know works. So if that sounds interesting, I would love to hear from you. Thank you for your time.
12 years ago, my fellow co-founder and company director, Kit Monkman, came up with the idea to make an experimental 100% green screen movie on an indie budget with no visual effects knowledge. In order to do that, we employed 6 recent graduates from a master's degree in post-production with visual effects. We collaborated with the University of York on a KTP program. And with those bright, young, diverse minds, we kind of remade, learning as much how not to do something as how to solve some of the many intractable problems we'd created for ourselves in the first place. That finished film we sold to Universal. It was exhibited at the Rome Film Festival. And those 6 graduates were the foundation of Viridian Effects. 5 of them still working with the company today. Here we go. So now we find ourselves working alongside the much larger global-based VFX houses on globally renowned productions and for globally based distributors and producers. I'm going to read a couple of quotes. I normally ramble on too long, so I'm actually going to read only a couple. This is a massive thank you to you and your fantastic team. Your work has been of the highest caliber, and you've delivered everything we requested superbly. It's a testament to your work that we just kept giving you more shots and increasingly complex work. That was from Angus Bickerton, who I'm sure VFX people around the world will know his name. He's an award-winning VFX supervisor and was the supervisor on House of the Dragon. But probably the most important one to read to you today for where I'm trying to get to is Viridian teams. I can't decide whether to say we did it or you did it, because you really did do it. Magic has been created, and I'm incredibly grateful to you all. And that came from the director of Heart of Stone, the big Netflix action movie of this year. And why that is, I think, so relevant is because our 12-year journey has created a unique problem-solving culture in our company where our artists understand the creative ambition of the whole film, and they communicate directly with the key creatives on the production, whether that's directors, VFX supervisors, DOPs, production designers. And there's no company wall between our artists and those creatives. And so, obviously, for the director to give us a personal thank you was fantastic. The future. Obviously, our business is rapidly changing, and AI is making that even faster. So, where am I? I've lost my place. If we stand still and just use the same tried and tested methods, we are going to be superseded. Maybe not in 12 months, but I doubt we'd have another 12 years. And what we think is our core value of our ability to communicate directly with the creatives and problem solve for these artists rather than just do what we've been contracted to do is where our core future lies. We're a company full of diverse, we've only ever employed graduates. We've employed them from all over the world. And so getting to why we're here, or what I hope to achieve here, is to say that yes, there are a lot of global-based VFX houses who outsource work to India, but that seems to be on a very contractual basis. You do the work, we pay you some money, end of job. And we're much more interested in cross-cultural collaboration, because any work that's done with an understanding of the creative process, if that understanding comes from a different creative viewpoint and different experiences and backgrounds than we have, then that can only be a benefit to the work. So we believe the future is where global creators from diverse backgrounds collaborate with these emerging technologies to not just improve the workflows that we do and make them more efficient, and not just to create new consumer experiences and products, and not to find new creative storytelling devices to new audiences that aren't catered for, but all of those things. I think creative cultural collaboration not only improves the quality of the work, but it also improves how we feel about the work that we do, and that can only be a good thing. I'm Thomas Mattinson with Viridian Effects. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'll have Ms. Amita from UK government, who will be further introducing to us what we'll be seeing further into the session. Please welcome Ms. Amita.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here today. I'm not going to take up too much time, but what I am going to share with you is that I am here with 10 of the top UK creative companies who collectively bring 100 million a year to our UK economy. So I'm really looking forward to you meeting them and meeting with them later. And I'm going to introduce Ryan. Come up to the stage. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Amita. My name is Ryan Metcalf. I'm the Managing Director of Preview. We'll get slides up on the screen in just a second. Preview is a global leader in LiDAR laser scanning and 3D digital twins. We work with a number of media and entertainment studios doing LiDAR laser scanning and building 3D replicas or 3D digital twins of their spaces. So we go into studios, we go into locations, we go into lots. We do a full 3D capture, full LiDAR scan survey, and from that data, the team of artists that we have in-house are able to build full 3D models from that. These models end up having a purpose across the entire production pipeline. These can be used for pre-viz and tech-viz right at the start of production, all the way through to virtual production. We also have a growing library, a digital backlot of all of these locations, so that when a production wants to shoot in Times Square, wants to shoot in Trafalgar Square, they're able to actually do this on any virtual production stage anywhere around the world. We have these files ready to go. We can send them out to people, load them on any virtual production stage, and save the huge costs involved with traveling places. We've got a few slides on here. Let me grab a clicker. Oh. For those not familiar with LiDAR scanning, a LiDAR scanner is a device that takes millions or billions of individual measurements. The particular units that we use do approximately 2 million measurements a second, accurate to a couple of millimeters. So we work our way around a studio lot or a location or a stage, capturing billions of measurements. And this data is something that we can use to then piece back together the location as a digital twin. There we go. These are some of the clients with whom we have the great privilege of working. A lot of work with studios, a lot of work on productions, on that previs through to virtual production pipeline. I'm sure you're all very familiar with UE5 by now. This is what's controlling most of the virtual production stages. This is some of Universal's backlot. There is now the opportunity with backlot spaces to hire a physical version, and you actually take your entire crew, you take all your talent, and you shoot there. Alternatively, we can send a UE5 file of that lot anywhere in the world. Some of you may recognize this. This is the Lincoln Memorial in DC. Again, based on a LiDAR scan, this is a photorealistic, millimeter accurate version of it that we can put on any virtual production stage. There's my contact details. Would love to speak to anybody regarding virtual production solutions, LiDAR scanning. We're looking to work with a lot of partners in this region. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Oh, I'm loving the energy. Okay, so I have a question for everyone. How many of you play mobile games? I love that. That's literally 70% of the room. How many people have experienced video ads in mobile games? Okay, I want you all to shout out, how do you feel when you get a video ad experience? You guys are doing my job for me. Thank you very much. I hate them over here. So what we do at AudioMob, so my name is Wilfred Obeng, we allow game developers to monetize their games using audio ads. So basically allowing you to continue to play the game without being interrupted. So what I'll do is, I would recommend you all come to our booth tomorrow, because we're going to be there at the Games Developer Conference, and you can actually try it for yourself, and you'll see the difference. We are currently working with studios like Tap Nation, Voodoo. All of these names might just not be apparent to you or who they are, but I'm sure all of you have played their games. These are some amongst the top 30 mobile game publishers in the world. We are also working with studios who are based here in India. So we're working with studios such as Play Simple. We're working with studios and talking currently to Nazara to try and bring audio advertising into world cricket, and allowing you to enjoy those games without being annoyed. So that's our mission statement. And I guess to talk a bit more about what kind of ads you might actually be seeing, these aren't going to be those annoying game ads showing you other games in these experiences where you have this moving, clicking button that doesn't allow you to escape for another 30 seconds. What we're offering is branding. So we're working with a lot of companies in India to actually bring really interesting adverts to the actual region. So for example, working with radio stations and also with brands such as Mirchi, working with Instamart, and actually bringing brands that you guys would be familiar with into our experience. So I'll leave it there. I would recommend you all come to our booth, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Hello, India Joy. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be back here. My name is Phil, and I'm the CEO of a performance capture studio called Centroid. If I could have the first slide, please. So, Centroid was established in 1996. I've been at the thick end of the wedge for a long time now. For those of you who've been locked under the stairs or something and don't know what motion capture and performance capture is, it's the capturing the synced performance of actors, horses, usually for crowd scenes, principal characters, and game cinematics and animation trees. We work from the pre-production stage, working through scripts with our clients, casting, prop sourcing, everything like that into the production where we do the capture ourselves and then providing the sort of finished character animation. Currently we have 2 studios in the UK for production. We have a large stage in Uxbridge which is 23 meters in length and very ideal for stunts, crowd simulations, some kind of animal captures. And then we have another stage with our partner company, Molinaire, who will be speaking to you shortly, where we have a soundproof stage right in the heart of Soho, and it's more of our sort of storytelling stage. These are just a handful of our clients. We've been very lucky to work across films and games for a long time now. And that was some of the productions we've worked on. Some of our clients here. I have a show reel to show you, so I won't go on too much. The reason I'm in India, I first started working with Indian productions was back in about 2010 for Bajaj. There was a commercial where motorcycles turned into basketball players. And then I worked on a film called Kochadian, which I was told I should never mention because it bombed here, but I'm still very proud to have worked with Rajnikant. And that really started my love affair with Indian productions. Unfortunately, in 2019, with the COVID pandemic, I had to shut down Centroid. We were at Famous Studios, one of the sponsors here, and business has just started going really well. As you can see, we worked on RRR. And yeah, so I guess I'm back here now looking to rekindle relationships and get going again. Oh. You just go back one slide, please. And play the video.
I've done the double click. Thank you very much. Come and hit me up if you want to talk about projects and things.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Shuyok. I am the founder and CEO of a company called Greenman Gaming. We are based in London. We are focused in the video games industry. Having launched ourselves in 2009, we do a number of things in the video games industry. We are a retailer selling games in 195 countries, all around the world. And we sell around about 2,000 publishers worth of games, 10,000 games, on a digital basis, focusing on PC and console. The second thing we do is we are a publisher of video games. We published about 35 games in the last 6 years. We distribute video games for a number of notable publishers as well. And last but certainly not least, we fund video games. So we are in India now looking for potential IP that would like to be either published, distributed, or studios who are looking for funding for their next project. If you have any questions about Greenman Gaming, please do feel free to approach me or speak to the DBT representatives here from the British government. Thank you very much indeed.
Hi, good afternoon. Great to be here, first time at India Joy. I'm Professor Andrew Chitty from Loughborough University in the UK. Now, Loughborough is the world's #1 sports university, and we're not here to talk about sport at all. So what we are also is part of a new network of R&D labs in the UK called CoStar, which I chair. And CoStar is going to be 5 labs opening up next year, looking at the next generation of creative technologies across the screen and performance sector. So film, TV, advertising, games, but also live music and live theatre performance. A term that we've come to realize that's been developed in India, AVG-CXR, is exactly what we are doing. So we'll launch our new national lab based at Pinewood Studios, and then 4 other labs, each of them run by a university but based in a working production studio. So what we're interested in is applied research and industrial research. So what we're in India looking for is partnerships. We're very excited about the possibility of partnering with the AVGC XR Centers of Excellence in Hyderabad and the new facilities here. We think there's an amazing link to build with the national lab here. But we're also looking for company partners who have got problems, R&D problems that they see in a kind of 2 to 4 year timescale ahead that we can work on with them. So company partners, university partners, and hoping to build a link with the AVGCXR community in India and particularly in Hyderabad. So if anybody feels that they would like to get involved in a conversation like that, please do come and approach me. Thank you very much.
I'll get the first slide, please. First slide, please. So I'm Nigel Bennett, CEO of Molyneux Creative Group. We were established in 1973, full post-production company. Over the last 4 years, we have created a brand of companies. So Notorious DIT, Molyneux, Voice, Sound Warriors, Pip Studios. Okay, within those services, we offer dailies for film, TV, documentaries. With Molyneux, we do full post-production from offline, online dailies, and all services. Voice, character creation, working with Centroid from Phil from Centroid. And then we've got Sound Warriors, all about sound design and all the different services we offer. Could you play the show reel, please? For the next 3 days. If anyone wants to come and see me, have a chat. We're always looking for international partners, service providers, and certainly at the minute in the game sector, we're looking for audio programmers as well. So thank you.
Hi guys, good evening. My name is Prajay Kamath. I'm the CTO of Merge XR. So we're basically a tech company based out of Luton, near London. We've been working in the realm of XR, VR, VRMR, the whole XR stuff for almost a decade now. And post-pandemic, as all of you have seen The Mandalorian, I saw it as well, and we got very excited, and we thought, okay, let's jump into virtual production now. But we didn't want to bear the dent of having a LED stage and all those expensive gear setup. So we thought, well, let's start working on something which is low cost, but at the same time high in value. And so we set up a studio near London, about a 20,000 square feet chroma stage. And we kind of perfected the whole pipeline of virtual production using chroma-based, which almost all DOPs here understand that. And so then the next stage was, okay, we've got to start implementing it. And so, because I was born in India, so I thought, okay, where next but to test run it? The best place to test run that would be India itself. So I was very glad to partner with Ramoji Film City in Hyderabad. So we have set up a studio here, which is about 2 floors. It has a mocap setup and as well as a virtual production setup, chroma-based again. And we've been doing some amazing work. So things have come up right. I think some productions are going to come up early next year, which you're all going to see, and all been done at the Ramoji Film City. And why I'm here to basically see if you guys have a production in mind, you have a script in mind, you want to do some low-cost production at the same time, sell it to other people. I think RFC is the best place to come. You're more than welcome to come to UK as well. I'd be quite glad to have you there. And also another thing is, if you have any good scripts with you, we are more than happy to co-produce in terms of a small budget film or a big one. It can be a music video, it can be almost anything, any kind of content. So you can catch me out of the show and we can talk. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. The most observant amongst you will have seen that we've been going in alphabetical order in this final section, and I can tell you that we're the last one. But how's it been so far? An impressive array of talent, don't you think? And I can tell you we'll end on a high, because I'm here to represent the UK advertising industry, as well as my company, VCCP. Now, the UK has a great history in the creative industries, and we've seen some fantastic businesses at the forefront of creative technology and possibilities of dynamic experiences today. I can tell you the UK advertising industry is a real jewel in the crown of UK creative industries. In 2022, we exported £15 billion of marketing and research services to the world, which is the most ever, higher than before the pandemic. And VCCP, the agency that I'm the international chief executive of, we're the biggest advertising agency in the UK. So the reason that we're over here to visit India, to make partnerships, is it's really about opportunity, it's really about ambition. We see talent and tech understanding on a level that is exploding and greater than anywhere else in the world. We're based in New York, in San Francisco, in Madrid, in Prague, in Singapore, Shanghai, as well as London, where we started. But we're really excited about what's happening right here in India, in Hyderabad. So if you want to come and meet me to talk about advertising in general, or tomorrow my colleague will be talking about what we're doing in the gaming space, that would be great. But thank you all for your attention today. It's been fantastic, and see you soon.